What's up, everybody? It's Matt Schmidt here, and I am excited. It has been an amazing couple of weeks. Somebody told me that, PPS, the closing of the sales happened a little over a week ago, and it seems like a lifetime ago because of all the interaction we've been getting, whether it's on the advanced group, with your guys' PMs to me on Facebook, or the webinars here. I feel like we've done a lot over the last couple of weeks. And I got some cool stuff in store for you today because, the last couple of webinars, we actually covered almost everything that I wanted to cover in the 3 webinars. So I had to think, all right, what am I going to bring to the table here today? And I got something that's pretty cool because something that I think is different from me to maybe some of the other courses, the course creators out there, is that I am actually living and breathing this stuff along with you guys, right? I'm not just telling you you need to do this or do that. The things that I recommend, the things that I put courses around, are the things that I'm actually doing. And so what I am excited to share with you today is actually something that I've been putting together for weeks on top of all this other stuff. And it's something I think is going to help you with everything PPS related. Does that sound cool? Give me a 1 in the chat box real quick. Awesome. All right. So should be able to see my screen right here. Give me a 1 if you can see it. Awesome. So guys, I have been working and testing and doing all this grinding basically because I'm ready to take it to the next level myself. So I wanted to do something to give you basically a behind the scenes look at what it takes to build $1 million Shopify store. And I have a goal here of taking it from 0 to 100,000 in the next 6 weeks. Is that something you would like me to overview here today? Give me a yes in the chat box. Awesome. Tons of yeses. Sweet. Absolutely. All right. So I'm going to be basically going through a bunch of slides here, and I'm going to be putting it all together and be talking about a bunch of different strategies for growth, very similar to PPS, right? But I'm going to be applying it to a live situation, right? So this is stuff that we are currently doing right now as we speak. We'll discuss some of the differences, guys, here between the 4 and 5 figure stores, and then the difference between the 5 and the 6 figure stores. One of the biggest questions I ever got from you guys was, what does it take for me to get to the 6 figures per month or the 6 figures per year even then? And so we want to cover a lot of those basics here today because, yeah, the course outlines that, but we want to help you progress, and that's what today's about. So cool thing is here, guys, is that I'm going to be bringing on my boy Nishant onto the call because Nishant and I actually have teamed up on this store that we're going to be describing and laying out for you today. And we're business partners on it, and we've set ourselves a kind of a crazy goal. So if you guys know who Nishant is, give me a 2 in the chat box real quick. Yeah, exactly, guys. So you guys know who Nishant is. If you don't, trust me, you'll know about him here soon. But real quick backstory before I let him say hi. Nishant and I, the reason that we've decided to do, this is kind of how I want you to do business partnerships too, as well as early on. But the reason that Nishant and I have partnered up is that we actually have a history together. We can do this kind of stuff relatively quickly, and both of us can do 6 figures in a matter of weeks, and that's kind of a good strength that we can play off of each other. But we've done this before several times, and we know that we're going to be doing it again, right? So one of the cool things that I wanted to do and wanted to show to you guys is how we're going to be pushing the boundaries a little bit. And we're going to give ourselves a new goal to work towards because never settle. And so that's what we did, right? So our goal actually is that $1 million Shopify store, $1 million per year. And there's a lot that goes into that, and we'll describe exactly what the differences are between a guy that can just hit 6 figures once and an actual $1 million brand. But before I do that, let's bring on Nishant real quick. Nishant, I'll go over real quick actually before you start talking. You are a traffic beast, right? I started learning about what Nishant's been doing in the last several months, and I was kind of blown away. I didn't realize he had taken it to the level that he had taken it. which is funny because we actually came up in internet marketing at the same exact time. Uh, he gave me a ticket to my first ever IM event and actually picked me up, if you remember, a shot from the hotel room, which is
Yeah.
funny, which is funny
That's
because I couldn't afford to have gone to this event. This event was what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
no, that was actually November 2013. So
Oh my
actually two
gosh,
years ago.
two
Yeah.
years ago, and I couldn't afford the ticket. So Nishant was like, "Hey man, yeah, more than happy to help you. Let's go down here." And it's kind of just gone from there, and he's become this like traffic master. And I'll just let him kind of describe his business currently, and then we'll go back into why I think this partnership is going to be awesome.
Hey everybody, I hope you guys are having a great day so far. And Matt's already done all the talking. He's already told you everything. But just a quick overview of what I do. So like most of the people on this call, I started doing online marketing, SEO, a bunch of different things. But pretty early on in my career, I figured out that if I have to become the best at something, I really only have to focus on one thing and just grow that and be the best at it. So Facebook ads was kind of like my thing. Found my calling, so to speak, with Facebook ads in this industry, and then I decided to just focus on it and grow it. And over the last year and a half or so, I've spent over $1.5 million on Facebook ads, just testing all kinds of different things, t-shirts, e-commerce products, other funnels, and that's something that I take a lot of pride in, just testing, every single day. Every single day we spend anywhere from like $10,000 to $20,000 on Facebook ads, and about $500 to $1,000 of that is dedicated strictly towards testing, because what I want to do is make sure that before anybody else can get in and do some crazy things, we want to be at the forefront of that of that massive wave of opportunity. So hopefully on this webinar I'll be able to share some of that stuff with you. And if you have any questions, please let us know.
Yeah, so absolutely, thank you very much. So guys, you can see, I mean, up to $20,000 per day. That was a massive, I need to learn what he's doing in traffic. And then what we realized is, my corporate level experience with leading teams and structuring things and building things out, we were very confident that $1 million store was more than within the realm of possibility for us. It is a stretch, but we are going to hit it. And we're very confident because of all these things that we're talking about. So real quick, we're going to go through this as quick as possible. I know your time is precious. So in the next 60 minutes, guys, we're going to talk about what separates a 4 and 5 figure store from a 6 figure store, and that's per month. And then the path to 7 figures per year. What are we going to be doing differently, right? It's okay, it's cool to hit 6 figures once, like I was saying, but really hitting consistent income and consistent 6 figures month over month, we're going to lay out the plan to do that and what we do differently. And then why a niche, quote unquote, won't take you to 7 figures. And we'll explain exactly what I mean. So hold on, because I know that's going to be like, whoa, what are you talking about? So how to take the MVP model and then transition it into a 6 and 7 figure business, right? That's another thing that's incredibly important. We start from exactly what, and we will start from exactly what's taught in this course. And then why we choose our lead product, and how we choose it, and what's so important about that lead product, especially the first one, something we'll cover here today as well. And then the 7 figure roadmap. Well, actually, I have a mind map in this presentation that you get to see, that Nishant and I actually mapped out ourselves, and you get to see for our business, and you get to see that as well. Does that sound good, guys? Give me a yes in the chat box real quick. Cool. All right, so guys, let's dig in. The first thing I want to do is cover what separates 4 to 5 figure stores from the 6 to 7 figure stores. And it's really important for those of you who are just starting out and then constantly, you're consistently trying to hit your sales goals, right? So the most frustrating thing for me when I was starting off was trying to, you can set your expectations for the moon, right? But you got to have the steps on the way there too. So knowing the distinction and what you can do to step your way there is something that's very valuable for your business. So we'll go over that today as well. And then what is it exactly that separates those two, right? So those two sets. So we're going to talk about audience size, strategic number of products, right? I've stressed this to you before, and I will stress it to you to the day I die. It has to be strategic number of products and not just loading your store full of crap. And then team. We want to talk about your team. Your team is incredibly important to get you to that level, to those levels you want to go to. All right. Audience size. Typical Shopify store. We're talking about typical, right? The rule, not the exception. The 4 or 5 figure stores have an audience size between $1 million to $5 million. Okay? So if your potential niche is within that $1 million to $5 million mark, you can consistently, that's where stores consistently hit like a 4 or 5 figure. Now they have trouble scaling beyond that because of this restriction in size. And then a 6 and 7 figure store have an audience of 5 million plus. Some of the biggest stores I know can target basically half the United States. That's how, and those are the big ones, the $1 million per month stores. All right. So number 2, the strategic number of products. Again, a 4 or 5 figure store has less than 10 products, right? Again, the rule, not the exception. You know, you can hit a home run or a grand slam on a product and hit 6 figures, but it's about doing it consistently over and over again. So we're talking about reliable income here. And then a 6 or 7 figure store has 30 plus products. Not only just 30 plus products, but they are strategic products, right? We'll talk more about the product strategy here in a minute, guys, and the importance of building out your product category around what we call the lead product and what I've been stressing to you as the lead product. The key to be strategic with your products, right? Like big companies do. I've given the example of Starbucks with their display case. They're very strategic with it. We're going to be taking the same kind of approach. So slide number 7. Your team. A 4 to 5 figure store are usually just run by one person. You might be on this call right now and doing, 4 or 5 figures a month, and it might just be you. It might be you and another person, but it's typically just run by one person. Once you get to the 6 and 7 figure stores, even if it's just per month, or a year, you can't just be running it by your own self, right? If somebody will give an example of a guy that can sell $1 million worth of t-shirts on Teespring a year. Well, guess what, guys? He might consider himself one person, but he has everybody on Teespring helping him fulfill everything and customer support too. It's not just a one-person staff. It's him and Teespring. So $1 million on Shopify takes some work. And we'll talk about what that's going to take here. You need a team. You need to have an onboarding transition plan, which is one of the most important things I learned from the corporate world, is that it's not just about hiring somebody. You got to have an onboarding transition plan, and you need to be able to delegate. So there's things that you need to learn as the business owner in order to get sure that each one of your staff members are constantly pushing towards the same goal. And then you can use systems like I taught you here in the course, or automate different things of your store to help you out there as well. Okay, so the next slide is the path to a $1 million store. And this is kind of the overview. So what's different than everything we've ever taught before and everything that Nishant and I have done before? We're going to have a more in-depth strategy. And this is just the overview, guys. A multi-layered, multi-angled traffic approach. Again, we will explain what exactly that means. Event and trend-driven promotions. This is a big one, because these happen all the time in every single niche. And it's really awesome when you can capitalize on these. Develop a brand focus. We'll talk a lot about brands today because brands are huge for the reliable income. And then even more focus on a team when you're getting to that $1 million mark. So, number 1, more in-depth planning strategy, right? So over the next several weeks, Nishant and I have actually scheduled out a number of what we like to call board meetings to discuss our strategy weekly. When you own your own business, you can call them whatever you want. So we call them board meetings. Unlike a 6-figure store, which you can pull off with a few good products and stuff like that, guys, what I want to stress to you is that when you're getting to that reliable income level, you need to have things be a little bit more deliberate than before, right? We're not just doing home runs. We're playing Moneyball here. So as we talked about earlier, we need more products and a more evolved team to have that structure in place, right? We're going to be holding each other accountable. That's what they mean by deadlines and accountability. We need to be hitting targets and pushing towards goals. That's something that you'll need to set up in your business to make sure you're knocking this out of the park, right? And we'll be touching base on those and closing gaps weekly. So number 2 is the multi-layered, multi-angled traffic approach. Facebook at this point will most likely not be enough. One of the key things I learned, and that's why we had this included in our advanced portion, is that we're going to be scaling out to different traffic sources, right? Not only is it a good choice business-wise to have and not rely solely on one source of traffic, but it helps you reach new people that aren't necessarily on Facebook. So Pinterest, Instagram, AdWords, multi-level email marketing approach, which is really cool because that's going to be not only potential buyers. A lot of people just think that's a follow-up email sequence. You can actually reach new people through email as well. And then we're going to transition into a multi-angled marketing approach. So what does that mean? It's probably even more important than some of the other things we'll talk about today, but the fact that you can get more out of the same audience just by changing your message. And you're probably familiar with some of this stuff before, right? You're just going to be hitting a variety of angles. For example, you're selling a piece of jewelry, and you can sell it with buy it for yourself or buy it for your spouse, which is kind of a reverse targeting, buy it for your girlfriend, get it for your loved one, so on and so forth. If you can touch different angles, you can increase sales. All right? If you're just hitting buy it now, that's a great start, in your text, but there's angles you need to be playing, and that's what the big guys are doing. Okay? So I'm going to get a drink of water real quick. So this is a cool one because not only is Nishant a pro at it, but so is my business partner, Albert. Trend-driven promotions. So identify big and small events in the niche and create event-driven promotions. So you've probably seen a lot of this in your news feed. Facebook's actually really good at getting these kind of trends and events in your niches in front of your face. Well, you need to do that same thing and capitalize on those same things with the people who you're selling to. So the other night in the country niche, there was the CMA award, right? I don't know if any of you guys are country fans, but there was a CMA award, and you could create a campaign that don't sell CMA stuff, but you think about if you talk to that, right? And you show a little bit more of, I'm the same person as you. I'm a little bit more relatable to you. When you create ads like that and you capitalize on trends, you're touching strings that otherwise were not touched by a straight up ad before. Okay? So that's important for you guys to implement. And then Pi Day. Of course, I had to talk about this. That's something that I had no idea even existed when I saw the campaign live. But if you don't know what this shirt campaign was, just go to teespring.com and it's still right there. This is my business partner Albert's campaign. It's still there and still kicking. It was such a wild success. He did over $225,000 in profits with a single T-shirt. And the crazy thing is, guys, is that most people had no idea when this showed up, no idea that it existed. And it was a $225,000, the day in general, no idea it existed. And it was a $225,000 opportunity for Albert. And there were other people that capitalized on it as well. And then Nishant, you did something pretty cool the other day too, right?
Yeah. We actually, that's one of the major revenue categories for me. And about a month and a half, man. I'm sure a lot of people remember there's a thing called These Nuts, and it's as funny as it sounds. Blew up on the internet because some guy named These Nuts had, basically reached 9% in Ohio primary and whatnot. And I had no idea about this political stuff, but it was a funny name. It was blowing up all over the internet, so I said, why not? And I created a campaign, and sure enough, it started to take off. And next thing I know, we did about a little over $80,000 in just profit on just the T-shirts. So if that was something that would be on Shopify, that thing would probably be at, like, I'm guessing $150,000, $160,000 in sales. But the funny thing was that one of my employees in India, he found something the other day, and he was like, "Hey man, I found this thing. What do you think about?" And I wasn't too keen on that. I was very busy with other things that we have. So I was like, man, it looks pretty good, and I just wanted to just give him a quick answer. I was like, it looks pretty good. You should try it. Next thing I know, he tried it. He made $13,000 with that. So this guy, he makes $500 a month, and obviously he works for me. He's working for me for a long time. He knows how to run ads and everything now. And I gave him the permission to run that campaign for himself, and he made $13,000 with
Oh, crazy. Wow. Somebody called me out on my spelling of Pi Day. That's what happens when you're trying to get fit for Mexico and all you want to think about is food. So sorry about that. I spelt that the wrong
that.
way. That's incredible. So just paying attention to trends, guys, in your niche and understanding and touching on the heartstrings of people. I mean, every single niche. I've done this in the nurse niche. You guys know I sell that. We capitalized on real events and then just viral events, kind of like the D's nuts thing, which is just funny to say. But it's just understanding and developing your understanding of trends and events that happen in your niche can be something that you could. I mean, listen to what Nishant just said. That's like collectively over $100,000, and then the Pi Day was 225,000. So massive opportunity for you guys that most people are not paying attention to. So
Yep, and the thing is, they're always ongoing, so it's not just like one-off. They're always there. Once you know how to look for them, it's easy money.
yeah, yeah, and there's a couple great resources for them as well. So the next thing, and one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, guys, is develop develop a brand focus. So if you guys know some of the biggest Shopify stores out there, like the Ashley Bridget or things like that, they've developed a brand around their product. And that's what we need to do, and Nishant and I need to do with our store in order to get it to sustainable and reliable income and hit that seven figure mark. I don't care anymore about just hitting, I care about it, but I don't just care anymore about hitting six figures once. I want to hit six figures over and over and over again, month to month. So a brand helps you in many areas, and one of them is premium prices. It's crazy what you can do when you develop brand recognitions, what you can charge. I mean, think about it in your own life, right? Under Armour. I just bought a thing of Under Armour, a swimsuit for Under Armour. It was like $60, and I guarantee you I could get the same swimsuit uh, for probably like $20 from another place. But I like Under Armour, so I bought it. That's loyalty. That's our next point here. A loyalty program. You can do this in a lot of different ways. Just loyalty in general. If you want to bring out Teespring as an example again, Teespring last year, I believe, released the stat that they said that 33% of the people who buy off of their site are repeat purchases. So the Teespring's loyalty based around quality of the product, about customer support, everything that you can do gives you the ability to do similar things on many different levels, and not just an email of an email newsletter or things like that. There's beyond that. There's just like I was saying, the $20 swimsuit I paid $60 for because I love Under Armour. So that's the kind of stuff that we want to encourage you to do. But that also encourages continuous growth in our store and gives us a strong customer following. Okay? So the increased team focus. These are the key points. Three of these I've talked about in the course. And the fourth one is a really big one that kicks you up to the seven-figure level. Okay? So I talked about this, but I want to reiterate it. Customer support, right? You need a team member or members, probably members as you grow. I have two now. We want to expand out. Product researcher and lister, right? Nishant's talking about how he's constantly testing to the tune of thousands of dollars per day. Well, you can only do that if you have new products, and you have to get those products listed. That's repeatable manual tasks that you want to outsource and free up your time for more important things. Fulfillment agent. Unbelievable how difficult it gets basically keeping up with orders as you grow if you're not prepared for it. So we are going to be focusing heavily on, automating, basically structuring this out, making sure that we all have our plans in place and we know who orders what, so on and so forth. So it's never a problem, and our customers are getting their product. So Facebook Ads Specialist. This is the key one that Nishant's really good at. He was just talking about how he has somebody in India that runs his ads. Well, I have never been able to successfully outsource my ads. I tried it once, it blew up in my face. So we're going to be doing that, and that's one of the strengths that Nishant's bringing to the table. So that's something that when you get to that seven-figure mark, that you can't just be the one guy doing ads anymore, right? You need to be trusting other people and growing this beyond yourself. Okay? So guys, has this been helpful so far? Give me a yes in the chat box real quick. Let me see some more yeses. Yep.
Matt, let me jump in real quick here
Sure.
and say one more thing. So, one of the things that kind of like restricts people or limits people from going to 67 figures is again the traffic. Because what happens is the most common problem I've seen is like when people start to create a bunch of ads for a bunch of campaign, they overwhelm themselves because now they can't monitor all those campaigns. And after a few days, when your campaigns start to have a negative ROI or when they start to stall down, well, you can't manage everything because now you can only focus on so many campaigns. After it goes beyond 30, 40 campaigns, it's virtually impossible for you to track all that stuff. So we're going to be doing I'm going to be showing the whole process of how we do all these things. At any given point of time, I have at least 500 ad campaigns running. So it becomes very, very important that you pay attention because in all fairness, if you're not paying attention, and I made that mistake before, you could easily lose like tens of thousands of dollars very, very fast because you're not paying attention.
Yeah, 500 ads is unbelievable. I mean, how many pages is that? What do they let? 50 on a page? So you have
Dude,
like,
honestly, I don't even count because I have people doing all that for me.
yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome, man. So guys, now that we'll keep it rocking here. So now that we've basically gone over, what the differences are, I want to bring it all together, and then kind of do the implementation part. Cool. All right. So the first thing that we need to do is the niche strategy, right? We have two niche strategies that are very common in the Shopify world, right? The one is the one I kind of focus on, but the single niche store focused on one specific niche, example, nurses. Everybody on this call should know that I sell in the nurse niche. Your audience to really be successful, again, is you got to be the 5 million plus, right? That single audience has to be 5 million plus, or you just simply won't have that many people. I know 5 million sounds like a ton of people, but you got to think about how many times you're going to be hitting people with buying stuff, how many different designs, how many different items you need to have to make the math work to really have success and get this to repeatable income. So that's why we want to go 5 million plus. So the niche strategy two that I see a lot is the multi-niche store. And I think where this really comes from, guys, is the anybody in the t-shirt world has it's a very similar approach to the old t-shirt model, and probably still people do it. I don't do it, but you're basically turning and burning. So you take one item and scale it to multiple niches. So the example I got here is I saw a shirt the other day. I guess I'm involved in both of these niches. I don't know how the fishing one, the beer one doesn't surprise me, but I got 99 problems, and fishing solves all of them. Same concept, right? Same design. I got 99 problems, and beer solves all of them, right? That's incredibly similar. It hinges on the same phrase, and they're just basically taking that out to several niches. Now, our approach, the thing that we're going to be doing, is going to be taking the single niche approach. But you can see that I say, and this is the niche that, guys, the 100% transparent, 100% going after the country, quote unquote, niche. I'm sorry. It's incredibly passionate. It's massive. And you've heard me say it before, and if this is the first time, then I'll say it again. But it's a category more than a niche. So what's the difference, right? Well, country has multiple sub niches underneath it. A lot of people think, okay, country is the same thing. But if anybody is familiar with it, think Taylor Swift to, guy with a banjo singing folk country music. You go down to Nashville for a little bit and you'll see how you just walk the strip in Nashville. One bar is folklore kind of stuff, and then the next one's rock, and then the next one country. Is so broad. But the cool thing is, guys, if you can build out this store correctly, if you can build out a category store correctly, your entire store is full of items that not only they like, your customer, but imagine if the daughter is a fan of Taylor Swift, but the mom is a fan of the more, rock, or I'm not rock, but like the old school type, right? So they can buy stuff for themselves. They can buy stuff for other people. It's all within the same category. It's all the same kind of stuff that technically their niche, and they can increase the average order value. That's my goal. Upsells are cool. We're going to be talking about how to do that, but just that one purchase, I want the whole store being designed. I want somebody walking in like, oh my God, this whole store is for me, right? And that's what we want to implement here in the country niche over the next couple of weeks. So the MVP model, you guys know this. This isn't a training, right? No matter what your sales goals are, in my opinion, you start with the MVP and then build out from there. So no matter if you're trying to do 5,000 a month, 50,000 a month, 500,000 a month, so on and so forth, the MVP, you optimize the store, you optimize the single product, and then you build out from there. So real quick, homepage. We talked about this in the training, so I'm going to brush over it. Trust building. You're just taking care of factors there. Sales page, that's the single product when you're starting out. The us pages, the contact and about, right? Contact us, about us. Footer pages are all the policy pages and the things that take care of all the pretty things that keep you Facebook compliant, that are 100% needed on your store, right? So I'm just kind of skimming through that. But I think we'll go ahead and give you an example as well. Is that cool? So let me go ahead, pull this up. There it is. So this isn't a store. This is actually, let me expand this for you. This is actually my first Shopify store. It didn't go anywhere. It didn't go very well. We moved on. And I'll actually tell you why here in a second. It evolved around the product. But so you got the home page, right? And so you can see here, I got free shipping, money day back guarantee, safe, just trust building. I look like a real business. Let's go with the giveaway page. You can see that I don't have a catalog here. I have a giveaway. It's a single item. So you can change that out in your navigation in order for it to be very, very specific and make sure it's pointed in the right direction. So the About Us page, which I never filled out on this one, but you should, right? I don't run traffic to it. It's not a live store. Please follow the training and make it look pretty before you run traffic to it. And then the order lookup, view cart. You can see down here that I have the privacy policy, terms of service, and it looks like I'm actually missing the refund policy here too, that you would want to add in as well. All right. So you see that we have all of the pages in place, right? So this store was the initial store when I talk about how it took me forever to build this out. It took me like 2 weeks to really get around to build this out. Now, my latest stores, they take under a day, depending on how actively I'm trying to build out, right? So this is the exact strategy, the MVP model strategy. This is a bad example of it because this was really where it was getting refined and then eventually to what you guys were taught. But, every time I do a store, this is the strategy that I put into place. Now that I'm going for a brand building 7-figure per year store, I'm still going to start with that. And I want to make sure that I'm stressing that to you guys. So this would be my lead item. And then what basically I'm going from here is I'm going to be taking this, I push it as long as I can, it goes into the catalog, and I put a new lead item in place. At that point, giveaway is no longer, it's going to be a catalog, but you're going to slowly build yourself out. And as long as you're transparent with your customer, hey, I'm a new person starting out, it doesn't look weird if your store's got only 2 items in it, right? I mean, sometimes people start with a kiosk in the mall and they build their way up to a supermarket, right? I mean, Walmart didn't always look like Walmart. Remember that. Walmart was a little mom and pop shop when it started out. So that's the same kind of mentality that we're taking here, right? And we're eventually going to have 30 plus, if this was my country store with Nishant, we'd have our lead item, and then we eventually build our way out to 30 plus in our catalog. But you all start with one product. Make sense? Give me a yes in the chat box real quick. MVP is minimal viable product. Yeah, it's crazy to think about Walmart as a mom and pop shop at one point, because we had one built like 6 blocks from here, and I can see it when the lights turn on at night. So it's kind of crazy. So yeah, but we're building our same way out there, guys. So guys, we're talk about the product, right? Because I told you that the product didn't really do well for me. I was refining this process, and then you got to see some of the results of the better leading processes. But basically, the lead product, the reason that this didn't do as well is because I have some factors that go into place, and I had not basically adhered to all of those factors. I didn't know it yet, but basically, we want a leading product that's going to get me at least 50 grand. If I don't think, and write that down, if I don't think my leading product has the potential to do 50 grand in sales, if all things go well, then I don't make it my leading product. And that, I mean, you can start at a lower number if you're just beginning, but guys, that's basically put that in saying it's going to sell to a wide variety of people. And I'll tell you, let's go over here and reinforce the factors about picking that leading product. So the 5 criteria for selecting a product, right? Prior sales proof. We talked about this a ton in the course. That's very easy to find, right? You really want to plug away at that to make sure that you're finding the best ones. A wide appeal to many different types of people. That was my initial thought around the protein shaker. Doesn't matter if you're trying to be Chris Hemsworth, huge, or Lance Armstrong. They both drink out of a protein shaker. So I was trying to think about something that's wide appeal. High perceived value. That's kind of where I fell short there for a little bit, because that thing apparently is not that expensive. So jewelry is a reason that this crushes as a lead item, because jewelry in general, guys, it's not just the free plus shipping model, but jewelry in general has a massive markup. I don't know what the actual number is, and somebody on here probably does, but jewelry has a massive markup because they don't sell that much. That's not their goal. They sell a ton relatively, but overall, a diamond is very selective, and the bigger it gets, they charge more because it's very selective. So jewelry is an example of something that has a very high perceived value. Many sources of supply, of supply. That's a key thing, especially in your lead item, right? If you can find something that has a lot of sources of supply, generally most things that we're going to be selling in our Shopify store will, but we want to be able to know, something that Robert Nava has always said, he goes, sell it, then worry about the supply. Well, I would take just a quick second to make sure you have all these sources of supply, but AliExpress, eBay, and then, local, stores and online sites here too in the United States will also sometimes have your product. So make sure that you can have a backup or a second backup in case your first supplier goes, hey, sorry, I don't have that anymore. And that's actually happened to me, guys, and it's not a great scenario. And then uniqueness, something I also fell short on the protein shaker. Uniqueness that someone can't just buy it from Walmart. So one of the products that we tried to, and I pumped in a couple $100 trying to get to work, was Dice. It was a huge mistake because Dice is available everywhere. And every time I see Dice, I think about that now. So I think about how available Dice is, because I tried to get it to work, and it didn't work because Dice is incredibly cheap at, guess where? Walmart. So, and gas stations and everything else like that. So, let me get a drink of water here real quick.
So Matt, while you take some water, I'm gonna step in and say something here about it, because what happens is the goal here is you're trying to stop people in their tracks on Facebook and then get them to buy something. It's not like Google. People don't have a buyer intent when they go on Facebook. They don't go to Facebook to go buy things. They just go there to see what's going on with other people's lives. And so you have to kind of like be unique enough, be interesting enough, and have a higher perceived value enough that people not only stop, they take out their wallets and make a purchase. And if they know that they could just go to a store down the street and buy it, they will never buy it. So that's the thing. I'm glad you touched upon that.
Yeah, absolutely. So A lot of what we taught in the course is touched on, and you're right. I should have said that as well. But impulse, we like to play on impulse purchases. The biggest thing that I can relate it to in my own life, I fall victim to going to the grocery store, buying a bunch of stuff, and then I'm waiting in line, and I look over to my right, and there's Butterfinger, and then I'm like, I just I just need that Butterfinger. So I buy the Butterfinger, right? So it's a similar thing, right? Instead of walking through a Deerberg's, I'm sorry, a grocery store. If you guys don't have Deerberg's, my St. Louis people know what I'm talking about. So if we're walking through a grocery store and then we're getting to a checkout, it's a very same kind of mentality as scrolling through your news feed mindlessly, seeing a cute cat picture. Oh, my friend had a kid. And then boom, something hits you on the impulse level because we're targeted. We have our targeting down. We have our uniqueness down. We have everything. And then you just strike a person right there, and they might not have seen it before, which also plays into the Walmart thing. So you haven't seen it before. It's something unique, and you strike them on an impulse. Okay. So let's talk about a little bit of math too, right? Because this is all fine and dandy, but what does it mean when we're launching products, and what does it mean, and what can we expect over the couple of weeks, right? When a lot of things I've been seeing in the newsfeed is somebody, or not newsfeed, in the group, is somebody might get a little bit discouraged because their first product didn't work. Well, in our experience, guys, about 50% roughly, especially in a new niche, 50% of the products tested are losers. And the reason for that, guys, is that something might sell, but it's not always cost effective for you to push traffic to it. There's a very key difference there that you need to understand. So you could expect losses, right? So then 30 to 35% of it need a little nurturing. These are the products that you might break even on. You might buy some data on. You might even get a slight little ROI, 150 for every dollar. I say slight ROI, but guys, if I could spend $1 every day or lots of dollars every day and get 150 in return, I would. But that's not what everybody's trying to do. I know everybody's trying to push it to the next level and get those crazy ones. So 15 to 20% of our lead products, the ones we're pushing to traffic to, end up being the prime lead product candidates, right? The ones that we're really happy with, the ones that we are crushing it with. Some of the examples were in the course for you. So those are the ones you can scale them up, and they become your lead products, and they help drive traffic to your entire store and get you customers to market to and brand build with, and get them repeat purchasing over and over and over again, right? Now, over time, that being said, guys, if you're new to this or if you're mid-level at this, Nishant and I have been doing this for years now, you'll get better at identifying the lead products and getting a higher winner to loser ratio. And basically, you develop an intuitive ability to select products, right? So what I want to do is pop over and watch count real quick. It's a resource that we talk about in the course. It's very common for people to talk about, and I'm going to show you how I would pick something. So real quickly, nurse necklace. If I had to, guys, I could pick out a nurse necklace, and I can do it all the time. But I actually crushed it with this necklace right here. It wasn't this one, or at least it wasn't this expensive. But this is in the video portion of the course, right? The reason I knew and felt safe with this is because I know the nurse niche, and I've actually sold shirts that have done well with a pink heart in them. So I felt really safe going forward and selling this product. Because I develop an intuitive ability to know, okay, that product's going to work, that product's not going to work, that product's going to work. I know this one probably wouldn't do that well. And so on and so forth. This one's probably going to do it. The slight difference is the identifying key aspect of RN versus the generic hospital symbol. While this says nurse charm, guys, that's a generic house. You can find that on an ambulance, that symbol. So it doesn't speak directly to nurses. And I know that because I've been in the nurse niche for so long, right? So that's why I want you to have a little bit more of an understanding there, right? But let's talk about the country niche, something that we've been working on. A key aspect of my research, or actually just being in the country niche myself, I'm from Missouri, so we listen to country music here. So I know that it's not called like country when you're actually part of it. It's a cowgirl. See how I've been doing my little research and playing around here. So one of the things that struck out to me right here is this necklace, and it's not probably for what you think, right? I mean, it's obviously got um, it's got a lot of watchers, which is fine and dandy and everything, but the sales are what we care about, right? So let's pop this guy open, and why I think that this is an opportunity for Nishant and I to test. The reason for it is I've never seen anything like it, right? And my wife is pretty big into this niche too. She loves country. She's probably in the other room watching the CMAs. So the one thing that I really like about this product is the set, right? It has a set. So let's go back here. There's prior sales proof, got 130 sales, wide appeal to many different types of people. I would say that lots of different women would wear this. It's a little big, so maybe not, but it's more than worth the test. It's pretty, I mean, equestrian too. You could lap those people into there as well because of how big that horse thing is. But it's got a high perceived value, even higher because it's a set, right? It's a necklace and a set and earrings. It's got many sources of supply. I'm going to have to back that up. I want to find this product elsewhere. I'll tell you guys a little inside secret. Give me a one in the chat box if you want to know a little secret about when you get to our level, what you really need to do. Okay, so looking at all these different sources is fantastic. But what I've done, and Nishant, I know you've done this as well. I actually have a fulfillment agent in China who I send links to products to, and he goes off and finds me a source of supply. Doesn't that make it seem a lot easier? Give me a two in the chat box if that makes a lot of sense. You want to know how I got the guy? I just he was one of the guys off of AliExpress. I had a really good working relationship with him. Boom. I said, hey, could we talk? What's your Skype? Could we talk offline? And now the guy, I literally just throw him a URL, and he's like, yep, we got three suppliers. Here's the differences between the products. Here's the price in between them. This guy can go up to sterling silver. This guy cannot, blah, blah, blah. So that is the kind of stuff that no, it's not just Missourians who listen to country music. So that's the kind of stuff that, we had a great working relationship. What the important factor is if you do that, you need to have a good working relationship with. I had taken a lot of shipments in of his product. It was good. It was reliable. It was fast. It was good prices. And so I felt trustworthy saying, I'm going to rely on you even more and say, can you find me these individual products? I will give you more business, if you can help me out. So that's something that he's kind of on. I don't pay him. He makes money. He does a little bit of a margin. He probably pads the price a little bit, but he still beats out my competition. And I got to tell you guys, it's invaluable to have all those backups, right? Because when I told you I had that one that fell through, it was this guy that pulled me out of the issue. He was the guy that came in, stepped in on a Saturday, and said, "Hey, I can talk to a factory here. They can make it. Boom, let's go." And then I had the product delivered in the next few days.
Nice, man. And I think that's one of the things that really stood out about this whole partnership with you on this store, man. Because I'm very very selective with who I work with, and it's just like when you're doing the kind of volume we do, you get hit up every second day. Hey, let's partner up with this and that. But I know the type of skills and knowledge you bring to the table. So like that, I just wanted to let you guys know about this, that this is something you don't see people doing it very often. Like not many people I know. I could count on one hand the number of people that have a fulfillment agent in China that to provide you the level of intel that Matt has.
Yeah, and it's just something, guys. Again, that I brought from my corporate level experience. I bought. Uh, I don't know if I can actually say, but millions and millions of dollars of stuff from China. Not that you guys would go run and tell my previous employer, but that stuff's kind of sensitive. So millions and millions of dollars from China. So I've interacted with them for over 5 years now. So it's just something that I get, and that's some of the stuff I teach you in the course too, right? Where they try to play about they can't do drop shipping. They can do drop shipping. They just don't want to do drop shipping, or they want you to say, I'll give you 50 cents per item or whatever it is for drop shipping. So that's the kind of the insider stuff that you need to know. And they're playing hardball, and they get hit up all the time, all the time for products. But you have to make yourself stand out with the AliExpress people. That's why in the group today, somebody was saying that they had not heard back from a supplier. And I said, make sure to be waving those dollars around. Because if you say, hey, I have an order for 1,000 of these ready to go right now, or 100 of these, whatever you got, and I need to order them right now, then all of a sudden they become they're the people that respond to you, and they make sure that you have what you need, right? Okay, cool. So let's not get hung up on that anymore. The mind map, right? So we've covered a lot in a short amount of time, right? So let's go to the mind map, and let's kind of basically sum everything up here, right? This is Nishant and I's actual plan for the next 6 weeks. So you can see here, what are we thinking? All right, week 1, we have, yes, a lot of this kind of, we've been thinking about it. We know it's going to be country, but we're doing the foundation in week 1 in our boardroom meeting. That's what we're going to be talking about, and we're going to launch our ads. Okay, so that's when the traffic's going to begin, really. That's the most important thing. Week 2, we're going to be analyzing that traffic. And then we're going to be doing the keep scale kills, right? We need to figure out who's the winner, who's the loser. And then we're going to go over into week 3, which is basically our scaling. We're going to be updating each other and holding ourselves accountable since last week. And then we're going to be introducing those awesome new traffic sources as well. Week 4 is when we're going to start expanding. We're kind of in our minds, the lead product has been out there for a while. It has a possibility of doing really well, or it could be on its downward trend. Depends on the product, right? But this is when we could start introducing new products, even in a soft manner, right? Where we're retargeting people in a dynamic way. It's called dynamic retargeting, and to increase the sales from the previous buyers, right? We can do it in a way where we're still in the MVP model, and then we're just doing it to the people who have already purchased from us. And then we'll be setting up emails and things like that to follow up with them and get more in depth with them. Week 5, we're going to be building out our team even more, in filling in any gaps that we need, anything kind of roadblocks, because guys, stuff happens, especially when you're trying to aggressively go after 6 figures. Even as experienced as Nishant and I are, we're going to have things that we need to fill in the gaps live as they're going too. And then we're going to be using customer feedback too to our advantage, which is very, very powerful. Week 6, analyzing our 6-figure goal. Did we hit it, or have we hit it, I guess? And then where are the gaps, right? So that's very important in your business. The gaps means, where did we fall short if we didn't hit it? What are our next moves to push past 6 figures? What are our moves to hit the 6 figures? I have more than enough confidence thinking that we'll hit it very much before 6 weeks. But at the same time, if we haven't hit it, that's perfectly fine. Real businesses aren't necessarily built overnight, right? So we're going to be moving and then repeat our revenue from the prior month. All right, guys. So have you enjoyed the presentation so far? I know I spoke a lot in that short amount of time. I don't think I've ever had to take a break for water. Give me a yes in the chat box if you've enjoyed this. All right, cool. All right, guys. So the real question that I have for you now is, would you like to watch us take the $1 Million Store from 0 to 6 figures in the next few weeks? Give me a 1 in the chat box. A lot of 1s there. All right, cool. So guys, I have something special for you. We're introducing the $1 Million Store coaching program, right? Very similar to what I've done in the past, right, with my coaching programs. You've been with me for years now. But with 6 weeks of the $1 Million Store, and you're going to actually look over our shoulder in a way that nobody's doing right now, and nobody's allowed you to see the actual store in play And we're going to go from 0 to 6 figures in front of your eyes. How are we going to do this? We're going to have weekly training webinars for you, but then you're also going to see the step-by-step logic, implementation, everything that Nishant and I discuss. So you're basically going to be sitting in the boardroom with us, right? Nishant and I are going to discuss the steps of our store. We're going to show you the ads. We're going to show you the revenue coming in. We're going to show you the costs. I'm not just going to give you the revenue figures. We're going to give you the actual profit figures. And then we're going to have PDFs and worksheets to hold you accountable and hold ourselves accountable. Nishant and I will be using this exact same PDF and worksheet that you will also be doing. And then you're going to have access to a private Facebook mastermind group where we're all going to be discussing this, our stores, your stores, everything. The best customer support from Nishant and I that we can possibly give you. And then a whole bunch of incredible bonuses, which is 100% risk-free. All right. So what are we doing here? Week 1 is the store strategy. We've talked about it a little bit already. The $1 million store strategy and planning session. So we're going to be covering niche selection again. We're going to be giving you the logic, right? We already told you it's the country niche. That's what we're going to go after. So we're going to, how do we properly determine the audience size for your niche? So we'll help you out as well. And then understanding that category versus a niche. That's a hard one for a lot of people to understand, but that's really going to be a difference maker for you. So we'll go into step-by-step understanding that. Product research and how to choose your lead products, right? This is very crucial. We've talked about it as much as I possibly can, but we're going to go in depth. Setting up the $1 million store MVP, you're going to watch that and see that store, actual store, page by page, and everything involved with it. And then we're going to be launching our initial Facebook ads with you on the call. I mean, who else has possibly done that? Where you're going to actually see our targeting, you're going to see our product, you're going to see our store, and everything go live with you on the call. So week 2 is developing your $1 million product catalog strategy. Adding new products using the 5-step process we talked about prior. How to use upsells to increase your sales. How to use the dynamic retargeting to increase your sales from the past buyers. Email marketing. Nishant's good at this. I'm good at this. We're going to really dive deep into email marketing, making sure that we're getting repeat buyers over and over and over again. Week 3 is the multi-layered, multi-angled traffic approach. We're also going to be giving you sales updates, right? So in the beginning of the calls, we're going to be giving you the rundown on how everything's going at this point. How to analyze the data from your Facebook ads to determine the winners or losers. Of course, scaling the winners, incorporating that multi-layered, multi-angled traffic approach, which is AdWords, Pinterest, Instagram, and then Q&A. This is when we're going to start the Q&A and hot seat opportunities for you. So we're actually going to get some of you onto the call and say, you're in the hot seat now. If you're willing, we'll plug and basically pry and try to take your store to the next level too. Everybody in here is going to have a level of trust for what's going on in the process. So event and trend-driven promotion opportunities. Again, sales updates in this week, but the best way to identify this and basically capitalize on them, guys. We've already talked about it and hinted at it in this call, guys, but the biggest event and trend-driven opportunity for any niche whatsoever is coming December 25th. Are you taking full advantage of it? Because we are going to take full advantage of it, and you can see us implement that as well. How to identify the trends in your niche and turn those into profit-pulling promotions, just like Nishant and Albert have done. And again, Q&A and hot seat opportunities. So guys, week 5 is building your team, putting the business to work for you. I'm leaving for Mexico very soon, and my business is still going to make me money while I'm sipping on a beach. That is the kind of stuff that we want to teach you as well. Nishant, I believe you're going to India in a couple of weeks, and
I'm actually going Saturday.
Oh,
yeah, I was gonna go in a couple weeks, but my mom's like, hey, why don't you come here a week in advance? And there's a game going on that I've always wanted to see, so I was like, heck, why not?
Yeah, so he can just up and leave and go over to India, half a world away, while his business back here in Missouri is rocking and rolling and making money. We're going to teach you guys how to hire your core members, so that is a possibility for you. Your staff onboarding, something again that I learned at AB, is there's a right way and a wrong way to bring staff on board, and we want to teach you the right way. Creating a feedback loop from your customers, right? Some of the most powerful branding opportunities and repeatable sale opportunities that you can do is using your customer feedback in specific ways to really improve profitability. And again, I don't have to say it again, but Q&A hot seat opportunities. So week 6, developing your $1 million brand, right? We really want to dive into this. This is going to be a good one. So the sales updates, of course, of how the store is doing, watching us get to the 6-figure mark. We'll cover everything we need to, see the ads, but then how to develop brand recognition. We're going to be doing this exact same thing as well during this process, but we will cover it in detail during this week. So incorporating premium prices in your store. We're very much interested in charging a premium. Nobody's charging a premium out there. I mean, free plus shipping isn't charging a premium, guys. How do you charge a premium? If you charge a premium, by the way, and you have a brand, it doesn't matter what the price of your source is, right? Because you can always mark it up. That's how big. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know how much I charge for a t-shirt?
How much?
A normal t-shirt I charge $29.95.
Good.
And a long sleeve t-shirt I charge $34.95. And because you look at it this way, man, if I go to a mall and I walk into Buckle and wherever, a t-shirt I pay for is usually $40 to $50. And I'm Indian, I'm stingy. I don't like to spend a lot of money in clothing. And if I'm okay in spending $40 to $50 on a t-shirt because of the way they've built their brand, I can definitely charge a lot of money, for the t-shirts that I sell online for things people are so passionate about. If you know what you're doing, it's very easy to charge premium price.
Man, I'm leaving a lot of money on the table, it sounds like. I can't wait to get our business started. All right, guys. So in week 6, we already talked about that. So let's go to the next one. So that's the kind of stuff, guys, that we're talking about. I mean, he obviously knows how to build and charge premium prices. $29.99 or $29.95 for a t-shirt is a premium price. So let's recap everything, guys. So here's the weeks on the left. Those weekly boardroom sessions are going to cover everything that we're going over. You're going to have PDF and worksheets, that are going to be basically walking you through this process, right? We're going to be doing the exact same thing. This is how Nishant and I will hold each other accountable, as doing these same sheets that we will hand to you. Access to the private Facebook mastermind group, the best customer support. I mean, I've been talking to a ton of you guys on every outlet that I can over the last couple of weeks. So we'll do the exact same thing for this, even more, because this is a private group. And then a stack of incredible bonuses. And again, it's 100% risk-free. So guys, what is your investment today, right? That's the question, right? So this is a high-level training that really nobody is doing. No, I don't know a single course that you can compare this to, a single coaching program that you can compare this to. So building a $1 million Shopify store is going to take an intense amount of work over the next 6-7 weeks, right? And we're going to be showing how to do that from 0 to 6 figures at least in front of your eyes. So if I had to put this against something, guys, if I had to say, all right, what coaching program have I personally paid for this length of time, and this much experience and this much in-depth knowledge, I would say that it's been at least $5,000 and more, because I spend a lot more on Facebook mastermind groups and in-person mastermind groups. But that's not what we're going to charge, guys. So what we're going to charge today is just $9.97. And basically what that's going to do is give you inside access to all these features that we have been talking about in these weeks and inside of our business. Literally not the revenue, but the profit. You're going to see all of it. So all you need to do, guys, is go to physicalproductsystem.com/$1 million store. And what you're going to do, guys, when you see that, is you're going to see, or when you go there, you're going to see this image. This is a elite group that we have been working hard on putting together for you. We're offering somebody that one of the biggest gaps I see out there is that it's all screenshots and revenue, right, guys? But we're going to be showing you profit, and we're going to be showing you even the products that we are pushing at the exact same time. So physicalproductsystem.com/$1 million store is going to get you access to this over the next 7 weeks. So guys, I've done this before, and my question for you is, are you next? Right? So this is a screenshot of me doing 6 figures in a month, right? This is one of my stores. The more important thing is, guys, is I want to do this over and over and over again. I don't want the ups and downs that are so common in this world, the Shopify world, and in the t-shirt world. So that's why I'm going to be focusing on building out a brand that gets me reliable, steady, sustainable income at any level, but our goal is 6 figures per month. So physicalproductsystem.com/$1 million store. Let's go to the next slide. Here's the money back guarantee, guys. So the purchase of this program is backed by a 100% 30-day money back guarantee. I want to make this perfectly clear on what this entails. So if you implement with us along the way, if you take action on the PDFs, if you take action on the worksheets, if you ask questions, if you get in the hot seats, you take actions and you come on to us with this journey that I think is a very unique opportunity for you, then you don't get any results from that, I'll do my best, and Nishant will do his best to help you. We will go the extra mile to make sure that you're getting results out of this program. If I can't help you, I'll return your investment. But if $997, guys, is too much of an initial investment for you, and you're thinking about refunding already right now, not that I don't want you in, I do want you in, but I want action takers, guys. I want people that are going to come in here and do work, because that's what we're going to be doing in front of your eyes too, right? If you're ready to take action, if you want to take your business to the next level, you want to see what it takes to do 6 figures in 6 weeks, and then build out a brand of $1 million plus, then we're happy to have you on board. Come on board, let's go. So just know that if you're ready to take action, your investment today is backed up. But I'm going to sweeten the deal for you guys. We talked about it. We haven't even gotten to that point yet, but we have some insane bonuses for you, one of which will literally pay for this entire investment. So the comprehensive step-by-step $1 million Facebook training. Actually, Nishant this is going to be your first out of the gate webinar, right? If you join today, the first thing that you guys will have is a comprehensive training by a guy who is doing $1.2 million and spend or $1.5 million, sorry. Let me make sure that's right, over the course of a year. So you'll have a call with him. Not only will you have a call with him with all of his training strategies and his Facebook strategies, but he's going to package this up really nice and tight for you, and he's going to give you the ability to take this training to your VA so that you can white label and train new VAs to run Facebook ads, guys. This is the guy that actually has Facebook ad traffic outsourced to people. One in India, and I think a few in Missouri there with you too, right? So
yeah, so I've got one product manager here. She kind of like oversees everything, and then I have one main guy in India, and then I have my brother and another guy who go and manage comments and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I would say like 2 main people and 2 kind of like helpers, so to speak.
Yeah, so he's done this more than once, and that's a lot of people haven't even done this. A lot of people that play at our level haven't even done this once. So he's done this several times. So that's one of the first bonus that we want to give to you. That's something I'm going to get a lot of value out of, guys. So physicalproductsystem.com/$1 million store. This one is really sweet though, because this is something that he's been using and keeping behind his little curtain there. And it's a Facebook ad scaling software. So you can basically split test and create hundreds of ad sets at one time. And I want Nishant to take over here. But basically, guys, what he's about to describe to you, it basically replaces what I use Quaya for. And Quaya is $150 a month. So you can see how quickly that is in a year. I plan on running Facebook traffic for years. So it's really $150 every month for years. So just tell them a little bit about this, would you?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, man. So what happens is, whenever you run a campaign, there's 2 things that are going to happen. So either it's going to fail or it's going to succeed. And when it succeeds, you want to hammer it as hard as you can because you want to get the most money out of that. And that means you need to split test everything because, let's be honest, a demographic of 18 to 65, more than likely not everybody buys. So you need to, split test, break down your audiences by small age groups. I split sometimes even for like every 3 years. Then you need to split different interests because when you're talking about these huge niches where you have millions of people in a single interest, not all of those convert. A lot of those may have a lot of these like junk traffic, so you don't want to waste your money on those. So what this software does, it allows you to split test and create a whole bunch of ad sets based upon the criteria that you set. So you can split test them by age, you can split test them by interest, by gender, by device. So if you want to split by device and all that stuff, and it literally does that in seconds. And all you do is just click 3 or 4 times on the software. It's a very easy to use interface, and then boom, it will do all this stuff for you. I used to use Quaya. I have actually used Ads Expressor as well, and again, for the same reason. And I don't use it anymore because we built the tool in house, and we just use that now. So if you're using Quaya or Ads Expressor for those things, that's going to save you easy $150 to $200 a month, depending upon which option you use. Like I was paying over like $250 a month for Ad Expressor because of the ad spend and everything.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's going to save me a ton of money. That's a huge. I mean, $150 over the course of a year, man. That's a lot of money that you could be putting towards something else in your business. So that's awesome, sweet. So this is a pretty awesome one too, here, guys. And this is one of Nishant's specialties. This is something I learned from him too. That's really been helping him um, really take it to the next level. I mean, that's the only way I could really describe it. So go ahead and describe this one real quick, guys. Physicalproductsystem.com/$1 million store. While he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and put that into the chat box.
Okay, yeah, so this particular bonus, it was kind of like easy for me to offer because after spending so much money and just like looking at things from a marketing perspective, we know that people will buy from you more if they trust you. And the goal of your advertising is to create trust. The goal of your website is to create trust, like you mentioned in the MVP model. So what we're going to offer is this professional photography and add images for your product. So as long as you ship me your product to my local address here in Missouri, I have a team. I have a professional photographer who works for me. I have a professional studio in house where we take pictures of our products and everything, and we will do the professional photography for your product, and we'll also create these ad graphics that you can use for your Facebook. Because doing that, you're not only going to get very very high quality images, you're also going to get for your ads, you're also going to get very high quality images for your website also. So you're creating that trust factor. You're going to increase your conversion, and more importantly, your store is going to look like it's not created by some 80-year-old kid.
Yeah, and one of the bigger things I've been seeing too, an increasing trend, is somebody just downloading an image off of um, AliExpress or whatever it is, and not even removing the watermark. It's like,
Yeah,
come on, guys. Like, if you want to build a brand, if you want to build a real business, you're not just trying to flip a product, right, and try to make a quick buck. You want to do what he's doing, and this is I mean, this is $500 probably per product set to get real good pictures.
I
Um,
know.
yeah,
I was gonna say that I know, the reason why we priced, we know it's $500 because when I started out for my first couple of products, I paid $400 and $600 for the professional photography that I paid for. So I know it's a lot of money, and a lot of you guys who probably sold, like who probably sold on Amazon before or things like that, and have actually done this, you know how much these things cost. I mean, US-based photographers, they're not cheap.
yeah, absolutely. We have a really good question here. I just want to touch on it. So somebody said, I just started and I'm working on the country niche. Any issues since that's your new niche? Absolutely not. The reason that we picked this niche is that it is massive. It's like a third of the country, right? So, and that's really something that's powerful for you and for me. So really, at the end of the day, you're going to be seeing how to successfully sell in the country niche at the end of the day, right? So we're going to be doing something, trying to make as many sales as possible. You're going to get to see the targeting. You're going to get to see everything that it takes to sell in that niche. So no competition. I've never shied away from competition. I sell in one of the most competitive niches there is, especially in terms of t-shirts in the nurse niche. I sell consistently in there. I sell great products in there, and it's about the positioning that you take, and then competition, especially in massive niches, are not a big issue. So, guys, physicalproductsystem.com/million-dollar store. I put that in the chat box, so you can go just click on it there. But I want to recap real quick here on some of the prior. I've said that I've done this before. These are, no, I forgot to change out these guys' names here, but you can see that Tom and John, they've came out of my prior coaching program, where we were, the market has evolved, right? So I did this in t-shirts. We did very similar, but what we're doing here now is doing this in physical products because this is the trend for the future. So we've seen massive results from our students before. You can see one guy was actually even losing money. Every day he was losing money, and then he made over $15,000 in profit in under 60 days. So for a lot of people, that's life-changing money, right? He didn't hit six figures or something like that, but we all have to get started somewhere. If you remember, I didn't have the money to buy a freaking event ticket. I think it was like $200, if that. And I didn't have the money. I couldn't justify it in my budget. And now I could, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but that's not that big of a worry for me anymore. But I built my way up to that part. So that's where I wanted to focus on there today. Now, a more recent study, those guys were back in January, but the more recent student here, and you might have seen the screenshot before, you can go ahead and read all of this, but basically what this was is a guy that was basically on his last dime. He doesn't like to be in the public. So he's a confidential student. He doesn't like to step out there. So he was seriously about to go back to having a 9 to 5. And we had some conversations. We started talking a little bit, and we plugged back and forth on Facebook. I took a look at some things for him. We tweaked some things. And this is his first month, and he's 4 days away. He was at his fourth day. He was at hitting $1,000 in sales. And the best thing about it, guys, is it was simple, right? A lot of people overthink this business. It's unbelievable how much they overthink this business. It really is simple, but it's only simple because you systemize it. So it's step by step. You saw that mind map. We had a bunch of step-by-step programs, and that's what you're going to get to watch here. So this guy is absolutely freaking killing it now. Real quick, physicalproductsystem.com/million-dollar store. This almost knocked me literally out of my seat when I saw it. So I posted this on my Facebook wall, so that's actually me talking. But this was, he had the entire course, and he had the entire course just as you do right now. And then I had a little bit of extra coaching on top of that. And he was an action taker, willing to, I showed him a couple things. He was, showed me what's going on in his store, and he did in 7 days. He did almost $75,000 in sales. Now, again, this guy was think about this. This was over a course of a little over a month. This guy was on his last dime, right? And he was about to go back to a 9 to 5. I don't recommend that everybody, spend their last dime doing this business, but he had a dream and he wanted to make it work. That's exactly the same thing that I did. And sometimes that's what it takes when your back is against the wall. But he was able to push through. And now, he's outpacing me. I don't know if he's outpacing Nishant, but he's outpacing me in terms of sales revenue if he's keeping with those numbers. That's pretty incredible for 7 days worth of revenue, right? So physicalproductsystemguys.com/million-dollar store. A quick recap of everything we got going on. We got week 1 through 6, basically taking the fundamentals all the way through to brand building, right? Brand building is really the last step because you only want to focus on building a brand on a successful store because it's really a lot of effort that goes into brand building. And we're going to do that live in front of your face. We're confident. This team that you're talking to right here, Nishant and I have done 6 figures in a month. That's not the problem. What the problem for us is taking and building a $7 million, not $7 million, maybe $7 million, a 7-figure $1 million store. And we want to do that live in front of your eyes here, guys, today. So don't forget about the bonuses. You got a comprehensive Facebook ads training. That in itself, I would pay $1,000 for, to get the inside look And the first webinar that you guys get is Nishant piling through and showing you everything about his ads training and how he runs ads. And then the Facebook software that's going to save you as much money as this investment is here today. And then, of course, the product pictures that easily are $500 a piece. Anybody that sells, like Nishant said, on Amazon can 100% justify that price point. So the cool thing that I want to touch on that real quick, actually, Nishant, when we were down in Tampa, one of our buddies told me that he started doing this very similar strategy where he got the very professional photos taken, right? And so he he couldn't sell these items. I don't want to say what it is, but he couldn't sell these items beforehand. Then he started taking professional photos of them, and then he started crushing it. I think he was hitting 50 or so $1,000 per month on sales on an item he couldn't sell just because of the professional photos. So that's
Yep.
a powerful thing there for you too. And just doing this too, right? We're talking about doing 30 plus items in our store. So that's $500 a piece. And now you can have as many as you can get in this 6 weeks. We'll take one by one. We want you to start, one step at a time, but we're going to give you the opportunity to get these done for you as part of your program here today. So
And the
physical
only
products.
catch is you just have to send us the product.
Yeah, well, obviously you got to send them the product. It's a quick and easy. I ran to the post office today. It's right next to my gym. Everybody knows how to mail something. We have to get the physical product in hand, but that's going to save you $500. And then, and Sean, I'm sure you can send it back. Or I mean, if depending on what it is, you can send it back.
Yeah, yeah. And if
So
they can just pop in a return label, it's no problem at all.
yeah, so physicalproductsystem.com/$1 million store, guys. I think this is a huge opportunity for you guys. Is this something that inside looks into business like this is something I've paid actually all, the Nishant and I both are in the same mastermind that is, uh, it's over $10,000 to join and you get this similar kind of look. And we want to do this live with you on a call for almost 7 weeks in time because we have that webinar training too with Nishant's Facebook ads program. So that's, I think, a great opportunity for you guys. I hope to have you inside here. We're more than happy to sit on the call for a little bit and answer some questions. So I'm going to pop open the question box and start going through. So if you have a question, please write QQQ. I can't go back, so just if you have QQQ and then your question, let's go through some of those right now. Whoops. All right, cool. So we got definitely getting this. Awesome. When does it start? It actually starts this time next week. So that's going to be the Facebook ads training, guys. I'm going to be out of town next week, but that's when Nishant's going to basically take you and handhold you through his training. So that's going to be week 1, and then when we get back, we're going to have week 1 of this program. If you're in too, by the way, guys, give me a I'm in the chat box too. So I see a couple of you saying just bought and I'm definitely getting this and all this other stuff. We got an I'm in, awesome. Oscar says, how much more money should we expect to have to make that much money? If you're asking about the 6 figures mark, you have to build your way there, right? A lot of and Nishant, I'm pretty sure you're the exact same way. I started completely in debt. I was living essentially paycheck to paycheck when I sold my first 30 shirt Teespring campaign. That was the most ugly shirt I've ever seen in my entire life. That was, and I did that, I was borrowing money in order to do that. Now, I don't recommend that to everybody, but at the same time, I had a dream and I wanted to chase it, and I left my job. So I feel pretty accomplished in that dream. Now I have more. So you need to have your step by step. If you remember, that student was about to go back to a 9-to-5 job, right? So basically what you guys do is you sell some product. The great thing about Shopify is you get paid quicker than most of the other platforms out there, right? So you get paid about 3 to 4 days, I think it is, after your day's income. So you get a paycheck every day, which is awesome. I love seeing that on my bank statement where it's just Shopify, 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 Shopify. And then if you have 3 stores, it's like every day you have 3 payments. So you just keep rolling and building your way up. So if you think about it, you can build your way there, right? We're talking about building a brand and building a business that is going to cost money, yes, but if you do it in the right way, you can build yourself there very quickly. So it's about how much time you're willing to put in, and how far you're willing to push yourself to really get these results.
And
Randall,
I'll give
oh
you.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, will you get a coaching on our stories as well? Right, Randall, that's the hot seat portion, and we have Q&A every single week in a hot seat. So we're going to be actually looking. If you are willing to share, I expect everybody that comes into this program to be respectful of each other, because we're going to be putting everything out there, right? So, um, if you're willing to share, we will deep dive into your, and we can do this in the Facebook group as well. So, we're willing to do this for you and take, critique your stores. The more important thing really is, because we'll get the stores up quickly, is we'll take a look at your ads. We got Nishant here, who's an ads genius, and he can actually look at your ads and say, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, tweak this, great job here, let's keep pushing forward, right? And that's going to be something, that you can do as well. Another one I want to touch on really quick, and then I'll let you go again, Nishant. I work a 12-hour day. Well, I have time to do this. Craig, I work uh, probably a 20-hour day. Not that you should do that, but yeah, you can step by step it, right? And I know you, and I'm not, I just came from working a 9 to 5, which really was a 6 o'clock in the morning to a 6 o'clock at night at least. So it was a 12-hour day too. And then I would work some days when I was really trying to push this business further. I went to sleep about an hour before I had to go to work. So if you think about that, that's kind of where I was. Now I'm not saying you have to do that, but we'll show you ways to buy time. A lot of people get scared about outsourcing because they think it's incredibly expensive, right? But if you go to the right places, if you go to the right people and you outsource correctly, it really isn't that much cost. And the great thing is, guys, is they pay for themselves, right? So my VA responding to messages on my page definitely gets me more sales per hour than I am paying her. So it's an ROI on her being and being on my staff. So that's the kind of stuff that we'll teach you to do. So you're buying time essentially, which time is more than money is an important commodity, and we'll teach you how to stretch, because we want to systemize everything, right? One of the big reasons I was successful in this industry, or am successful in this industry, is I systemize things. You see that in the course here, right? So that's what we want to help bring to you. And if you're systemized, then you can get the most out of your time.
Yep. And I'll tell you why, why that's very important, and why you're able to do that, and so to speak, you're able to do that, not a lot of other people, because if you see, and I'm not trying to pick on those people, but a lot of people take a lot of pride in being uneducated and made it. But you come from a background where you actually have an MBA degree, you worked in corporate, so you know how this thing works. I have an MBA degree, so a lot of people, they post memes of like Lamborghinis with dropout nameplates and everything.
Yeah.
That's all good, but those people, they don't really have a lot of these very good systems, and that's why a majority of those people never make it. You know why? Because these people don't have the right education on how to build a business, and I think that's the most important thing that I can teach somebody and you can teach somebody.
Yeah. Another really good question. There are no OTOs after this, guys. There's nothing else. This is it. This is what we got to. We laid out everything. You see everything that we're going to do. It's about if you want to ride this wave with us, right? So that's really what the question is here for you. So I've seen a lot of I'm in, so that's awesome. Just became part of the $1 Million Store program. Awesome. Well, we have time for Xmas if we start this week. Yes, but you have to do it in the right products, right? So we're going to teach you how. I am 100% sure that Nishant is taking care of some Christmas items right now. So one of the first things we can do is tell you what products to go after, because not everything's going to make it there in time, but there are some ones that will. So that's the stuff we can cover. We will definitely be going over retargeting. We talked about that multi-angled approach where we're doing dynamic retargeting, which is a powerful thing that's been coming out. We'll go in depth on that. Is Teespring is Nishant the Teespring info product creator guy? I think you have. I mean, Nishant and I both have created products before.
Uh, they, I created a product about it, I would say almost 2 years ago. Like actually, I think it was in February of 2014. That was my first product, my product, and you know, as luck would have it, I started doing so well after that that I never felt like I needed to, create any more products because I was just too busy crutching in the background. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's definitely. I mean, it's a multi. I've decided a long time ago to have a multi business approach because really my life was changed by people who good people that put courses together and training together, who I still buy from today. I mean, if Don puts something out, I'm gonna probably buy it from him, even though I could get it from free. But that's just kind of how I took that in mentality. Like these guys helped me break away, chase my dreams. So now I'm applying that and trying to do that exact same thing. Um, Mike asked a great Mike asked a great question. How does this work? Is it live webinars? Yes. If so, how long? Uh, we're gonna knock it out in an hour to 2 hours, but guys, we're here for you. So our stuff will be done rather quickly because Nishant and I are really on the same page when it comes to a lot of stuff. So I don't imagine our portion. I'm like not being that long, like probably an hour. And then we're going to turn it, it's all about us for a minute so you can learn what we're doing. And then we're going to flip it and then talk about what you're doing and what steps you need to take. And some of the things that we're talking about here you can see on the screen right now. So,
yeah. And the other thing that we'll also do is whenever Matt and I will have our board call, so whenever we are discussing all this stuff, like, hey man, look, this is what happened this week, or these are the products we should add, or what's going on with the ads and all that stuff, we will record that chat, in a Google Hangout,
yep.
and we'll put that in the members area, so you guys can go, kind of like see us operate in our natural habitat, so to speak, and just like see how we do things back when no one's watching.
Yeah, that's an important thing to understand, guys, is that we're not saying that I wish it was this easy, but we're not saying that a seven-figure brand can be built by us just having an hour per week, right? And Nishant and I are probably going to talk quite a bit,
Yeah.
and so we're going to record those all, and that's going to be extra stuff that you get to just kind of like peek into if you want to. So we'll have replays up for everything, and then we'll basically let you take it piece by piece, right? A lot of people are saying, if I'm new, is this going to help me? Well, to be honest with you guys, I'm the kind of person that um, pays to be the first in line. That's why I pay for, when I wanted to learn Shopify, I didn't want to be the guy that just sat there and was like, I don't know. Maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. I was like, all right, who can I pay to tell me the ins and outs of Shopify? Not traffic. I need to learn what's the best positioning on Shopify. Okay, I took that and I did it. And I did the same thing with Teespring. I did the same thing with how to teach, right? I've invested money into learning how to teach to you guys. So that's the kind of stuff that I treasure, and I want to be the first in line. I don't want to just learn on the fly. I did the same thing with my MBA. So if you think about it, I was taking an MBA to learn how to get to the higher level in corporate world. I wasn't actually at the higher level in corporate when I was taking that MBA. I was taking the MBA to learn how to become the guy at the top, right? So that's a similar kind of thing. If you guys want to learn how we're getting to six figures in a month and you want to fast track yourself there, this is why we put it out there for you, because we're going to be doing everything we can to fast track you. Will you will you help us step by step with our products so that we can make six figures by this Christmas? I mean, if you want to make six figures by this Christmas, the number one thing is follow everything that we're going to be laying out for you, and then go aggressive. Your step by step product, yeah, well, the logic and everything that we have for product selection is the same thing that you need to apply to your whatever niche that is that you're trying to sell. Six figures by Christmas is something that will have to be done by you, right? That you're going to have to, and that's why I want action takers in this group. And I think if you're trying to make six figures by Christmas, you sound like a guy that wants to take some action. So that's the kind of stuff that we like to see. So, but that's entirely on you getting, we'll lay out all of the framework and you just got to walk that path. Okay.
And I'll be honest, it's not going to be like a walk in the park. It's not like, hey, follow this, follow that, and you'll make six figures. It's not. If it was this easy, I would hire thousands of people, everywhere, and just pay them, the money to come and do it for me. But again, it depends on how you look at things. How we look at things is very subjective. So we'll be there for you every step of the process. If you need any help, we'll help you with that. We're giving you all the tools you need. But end of the day, it's going to depend on you as well. But like I said, we will have your back. We're not going to be like, okay, look, 6 weeks is done and we're out of here. We will be there, as long as it takes for us to show you.
I got a what your top negotiation strategy? Uh, this is a great, and Michael, I 100% agree with you. I'm going to read Michael's question here. What's your top negotiation strategy with China? I feel like they are quoting high prices. They are quoting high prices. 100%. I don't even know what your product is or who you're getting a quote from. I can tell you they're quoting high prices. I know you have mentioned over 1,000 orders in hand, but do you have any other tips on that? Yeah, saying that you just can't do it. I mean, I'll give you as much as I can. I don't want to spend too much time because it's a really long topic. Something that we can definitely cover, because negotiating is really complex. But we can definitely cover it in the next 7 weeks. So my biggest tip, I guess, guys, is don't be afraid to walk away, or at least give the appearance that you're walking away. And that's a complicated thing to do, but if you say I need 100 of these necklaces, and they go, all right, it's $2 per, and you're like, no, I'm sorry, that's not going to make it work. You can even chime in and be like, all right, let me try, let me run the numbers. I will get back to you. And then you come back, you say, I'm sorry, that's not going to be able to work at this level. If can you do any better? And if they can't do any better, if they come back with a no, say, okay, sorry, I'm not here for you. And that's one of the, I can't order from you. So that's one of the reasons we go after, guys, some item with a multiple source of supply. When you build a relationship, I will teach you how to get to a fulfillment agent kind of thing, like I have in China. It's a relationship based. I know the guy's quoting high now, and he knows that I'm going to push him down. It's a little bit of a game, but that's just how the strategy plays out. And you ask anybody that's done any kind of negotiation, if you guys on the call, we got hundreds of people on this call. If you've done negotiation before, you know it's a little bit of a game, and it's just the natural tendency of things. And we can definitely deep dive into that a little bit more. Yogi, I think we answered that question for you. He said, I am just starting, and I would like to know how this would be helpful to me. Again, in my opinion, if this is something you want to do, like getting into Shopify, we're going to do our very best to cut you to the front of the line. So basically, we're going to do everything we humanly possibly can to do, say, this is the strategy to get to the 6-figure mark. Now, how quickly you get there is going to depend on a few personal factors, but we're going to push you. We're going to teach you how to roll over that cash flow to make sure that you're growing, similar to that student that I had. A lot of people don't, name me one other course that has talked about maintaining and rolling over cash flow to grow, right? A lot of people just said, I made this much money. I made, Nishant talk, and frankly, Nishant's talking about spending $20,000 a day, but he has. I don't have to sell your figure, but I can guarantee you his business has a cash flow much larger than that. So he's comfortable spending that much money in a day. So you got to work your way up there, guys. You start small, and Nishant and I, again, we're both at this point in our lives. And 2 years ago, you said it was 13, so
Yep.
almost 2 years to this month. It was November, what? It wasn't, because it was cold when we went down there.
Yep.
We went down to Memphis, and I couldn't afford a freaking $100 or $200 ticket to an event, and that was really my breakout, in getting into internet marketing. So it's just about building your way up there, guys.
Yep. I mean, I had to sell my cricket bat for like $300, and I was like, I cried that day, man. It was like, it's like I grew up playing cricket all my life. I had to sell my cricket bat for $300 just to be able to afford that training from Don, and that's how I got that I got that ticket for free. It was like you get 2 tickets as bonuses, and I was actually thinking about selling that to somebody, but I saw you were you were pretty cool, and I was like, man, I'll just give it to him. So,
Oh, yeah, I think it was the Missouri thing, right?
yeah.
That's another tip I'll give you guys. I mean, we had some St. Louis boys in here. We got some. I'm sure there's other people in the city. I mean, meet up with, go to the internet marketing events. Do what you can. Get into groups like this, because when you're playing ball and you got a group of people that are trying to play ball, you know what I mean? You know, get up their game, build businesses. You find like-minded people very quickly, and that's what Nishant and I, that's why we connected. Not only we're in Missouri, that's like the first initial, oh, hey, we're in Missouri together. But then, when we're like, oh, we're on the same page with a lot of stuff. So then we made a great partnership, and he's a traffic guru. And, I have the other strategy points were to bring in and negotiate and fulfill and bring in the team aspect for it. So that's what, yes, there will be a replay on this, guys. And we're going to put it into the members area of PPS. We're not going to, there's no done for you service, guys, but setting up your Shopify store and your products using the MVP model is incredibly simple. We will go over that, and you can literally watch it as we do it live. And then you could, everybody's got more than one screen these days. So if you need to watch it on your phone as we're doing it, if you are watching the replay on your phone as you're doing it live on your computer, that's an easy angle. I used to do that all the time. I got 3 screens in front of me now, plus a gigantic iPhone, so I don't really have that problem anymore. But I have that's the kind of mentality I used to come from. So, and you'll have those PDF worksheets and everything as well to print out or keep open. So, yeah, and at KS, I think we covered that. We're not limiting the number of people to come in this group. I am more than happy to take on as many people as I can. But we will close this down because it is time sensitive, right? I mean, he's going to literally train you next week, and we have lots of preparation work that goes into this. Will all the webinars be at the same time of day? We will do our absolute best to do that. The only possible thing is you never know what happens, especially 7 weeks out, right? So it's almost 2 months of hopefully nothing changes to, or implement, happens in our schedule to where something might change. The Facebook group will continue, yes. We'll progressively become, we're going to be incredibly active on it as we're showing and sharing and everything like that. But the group will stay open and active if you need to plug us with any kind of questions. Patrick, if you, I don't want to read your question out loud. I don't think you want me to. I can if you want, but if you follow what we're doing, yes, I would say yes to your question. If you want to stay within that one field, then you can do that as well. Lynn, yes, we're 100% doing this over the shoulder, step by step. That's the entire point of the program, is that you will be following our progress as we try to achieve this goal of 6 figures in 6 weeks. So that's literally our goal, and everything about that and every kind of aspect as much as we can. We're talking about the Google Hangouts, talking about the PDFs and the worksheets, talking about the doing it over the shoulder, recapping. That's all going to be available for you. Will this be recorded like your other course? Yes.
It's going to be like a reality TV show, but on the internet. You're going to watch me and Matt take a store from 0 to 7 figures.
Yeah.
You'll get the front.
It's a reality. It's the first ever reality Shopify store. Yeah. And you're probably going to see, we hope that 100% of it runs incredibly smoothly. But guys, one of the biggest mind openers for me was that not everything runs, smooth. You always think of this guy, the grass is greener over here for this guy. So you're going to actually peek into a real business and see maybe maybe the first lead item we have flops. So what do we do to address that, right? Or maybe this T-shirt that we bring in doesn't do well. So what do we do to address that? You're going to see all the pivots and all the different things that Nishant and I have learned how to do to adjust and hit that six figure. So it's not just about the fact that Nishant and I can drive traffic to a handful of products. It's going to be a real look inside of a business, which even at I used to work for one of the biggest companies in the entire world, and not everything goes to plan. I can guarantee, I mean, no business has everything go to plan. So we're going to show you the ups, we're going to show you the downs, but really what separates the two, like our ups and downs from Joe Schmo's ups and downs is that we know how to adjust and take action when those downs happen to bring them back to the ups. Randall, cool. See you next week, man. Randall is in. Chuck is in. Alan is in. Leland, we're going to be having that group. That's what's going to stay open. Jeanette, there's a couple hundred people in here, and the feed is pretty extensive. If you could give me another, just repeat that question. Melaine, I don't know what Squarespace is, so I don't know how to answer that. I don't know if you know, Nishant.
I think Squarespace is a website creation platform. I could be wrong, but I believe that's what it is, where you could create like a quick website or two.
Um, how much more difficult is it if I live outside the U.S.? There are plenty of people that make a lot of money. My business partner is actually one of my stores is actually in Indonesia, and he's the Pi Day campaign. So it's I mean, it's easy. You can take some steps to make it happen. We will give you as many resources as we possibly can. But yeah, you can definitely do it. I mean, you could open up a Shopify store and sell in your country if you really wanted to. I don't know where you live, but the reason that we always sell inside of the United States is it's 300 million people who just buy stuff all the time. Alan is in, awesome. The recorded webinars will always last. We'll host them, and you'll be able to access them as part of this group. It's not going to close in 6 weeks. Dean asks how to contact the guy you mentioned that handles my matters in China. I can't tell you that, Dean. That's my guy. I can help you find one. There's a lot of them over there. But that guy, I give that guy a full plate. Ela says she's currently in the midst of following a different Shopify program, but would like to integrate your strategies as I build out this store. Awesome. Totally a cool thing to do. After I select a niche and a lead product, do you personally give a comment on it, whether it's right to go? As much as a newbie, we people overlook and give advice. Yeah, no, Hope, if you're, again, it's all about how much you're willing to share, right? So if you're willing to share and you're willing to give me a look, I will 100%, and Nishant, our look, we will 100% give our opinion on it. Is our opinion always right? I don't know. If you're in the nurse niche and you want to sell some stuff, I could give you a great insight. I've sold a lot of stuff in a lot of different niches. So I can give you, and just my overall opinion of selling, over $1 million worth of product over the last couple of years. I can tell you my personal opinion. Nishant also can chime in, and we'll help you out as much as possible.
Sure.
John, I'm not sure what you mean. Rainer asks, will you be integrating any of your store with Don's Gear Bubble? Absolutely. If it's appropriate, if it fits the niche, we will 100% integrate it with Don's Gear Bubble. I mean, that is, the best of both worlds when it comes down to it, guys. I am the reason that I want Shopify, the reason I came off the other platforms is the control of all the business things that things like Teespring don't let you have, right? Your price, your emails, just the flexibility of everything else that comes with owning your own store and your own asset, right? But if I can load a product, get all the benefits of Shopify at the same time, have somebody else fulfill it in an automated fashion, Absolutely why we'll do that. I do that with my t-shirt suppliers are automated in my Shopify store. Jeremy, I think we answered that for you. Let me know if we didn't, but the answer is yes. If we have been trouble getting our Facebook ads to work right and difficulty implementing Google Analytics and Power Editor, will you help us step by step with these until we get the right? If you're willing to put in the work to get it to work, right? Because we're not going to have physical control over your Facebook ads, but you will have access to myself and Nishant, who have done a lot of ads. So we'll critique them, we'll help you push them, we'll help you do whatever it takes to really get it right and profitable for you. We'll do our very best. I am leaving actually Monday to Monday for Mexico. It was kind of the celebration of quitting my job. So it's something we've had planned for months. So that's why we added in the bonus of having Nishant handle the first webinar, and then just give you a massive bonus here of saying it's going to be. I mean, you're getting training from a guy. I mean, easily Nishant could charge more than $9.97 for a comprehensive Facebook ads training. 100% would I pay more than that. So that in itself, guys, in my opinion, is worth $9.97. Who can I specifically speak with? The two guys on the call. Will Facebook group still active? Will the Facebook group after the course for ongoing support? Yeah. Alan's in. Awesome. I think, Alan, you keep telling me you're in. I think, Nishant, you might know Alan, though.
Yeah, Alan's a great guy, man. And again, I don't know if I can mention, but I'm not going to mention the exact same thing. But I've seen Alan do extremely well with a few campaigns that were very trend based. So Alan's a great guy. He takes action, and like I definitely want people like Alan to join because I know we'll go out of our way to help these people succeed.
Wendy, are you still on the call? Wendy wants her. She's asked. Oh, here we go. All right, Wendy, you got to understand. There's a feed of questions literally coming through, and I'm 11 minutes behind. So I'm looking at questions like I'm just seeing your question here from 11 minutes ago. So I'm doing my best to get through as much as I can. So drop shipping, she's saying, is drop shipping necessary? So drop shipping is a kind of a mid-level solution. So basically, what you're going to do is take drop shipping. So you're going to buy the one-offs, right? And that's technically drop shipping. You're going to have an eBay supplier, send it directly, or an AliExpress supplier, send it directly to, or whatever supplier you can get, really. You're going to send it directly to your customer. So you're going to sell the product, and then you're going to buy it from eBay, we'll put it this way, and then ship it to the customer. It's called arbitraging. So then the mid-level for that is having a PO, a purchase order, sent to an AliExpress order or a supplier, and then they send a bunch of products to a bunch of individual customers. So that's the mid-level kind of fulfillment, right? And we taught this in the course, in the fulfillment video under the resource tab. So after that, what you're going to do is you're going to order a bulk amount and ship it to a fulfillment center. You're eventually going to get to that level because eventually it becomes cost effective. And this is for items that aren't like print on demand items. So that's when you're going to have a bulk item. It's going to save you money and it's going to speed up delivery. You might have to take a little bit of inventory, but we'll teach you forecasting so you're not, and I taught it in the course already, so you're not carrying that much. And then you basically have that fulfillment house ship it in a nice little package to the individual customer. Actually, the fulfillment house that I have actually does inserts, which is a really classy thing for you to do. Is like an insert, like, thank you for your order. If you would like to come back to our site, this is where you go. But again, that's when that costs money, so you have to be able to charge more money by having a premium or really honed in process. Hopefully, you're still on the call, Wendy. I'm doing my best to work through everybody. Craig's in. Don Wilson is who I was talking about. Missouri online marketer. You almost spelled it right, but two S's. Don is Don Wilson. Nick, sorry, I just saw that. The training in Memphis was Ben Atkins, and I think Don Wilson's. Um, Boy, I don't remember what the name of it was though. It was
It,
one of
it
the
was
trainings.
the bonus for FB Ads Crack. It was Ben, Don, and Tanner Larson.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
All of which guys that I keep in touch as much as possible and I look up to. The guys that paved the way for guys like Nishan and I. We do have our own theme. I got one that I've been using. I'll use that I've had custom coded. You will get to see that. Do you have my own fulfillment staff, or what fulfillment service do you recommend? I do have a fulfillment staff. I also have a fulfillment house, and I have my fulfillment agent, which is the guy in China. So I have people here that cut POs for me, which is a purchase order, which is a grouping of orders, and then we send the Excel file basically to a supplier, and they ship it out to the ones that are on the level of building that up. Now, once I get to the fulfillment level, we just say, all right, I need 200. Like I cut an order this morning for 500 necklaces. So 500 necklaces go to my fulfillment house, and then they fire off to the individual customer from there. We will do our very best, guys. One of the benefits of not having my job anymore is that I can literally do the webinar from wherever. We will do our very best. I'll even like research what's the best time zone to have everybody in. But Lynn, for example, is asking about trying to have a good time for Aussies from people from Australia, and then I also had somebody ask in almost the exact same line if somebody could have a good time for people in UK, which I know you guys are on the polar opposites of the entire world. So and we're stuck in the middle here, and there's some people everywhere else. So we'll try our very best to find a great time to get as many people on as possible. Um, exactly, Rainer. Rainer asked, can the webinars be in the daytime? Daytime is a relative term when you do what I'm doing here. So your daytime might be somebody else's nighttime. Hope I thought I answered your question. Let me know again if you have another one. Eventually these slow down and then I can answer everybody's. Esoteric. Ooh, you're going to catch me off guard. I don't know what that is.
What happened?
Is esoteric niche a good niche? I don't know.
Esoteric. Uh, I know, man. Uh, I think the dictionary definition for the word esoteric means something that's not spelled out very clearly. So it's kind of like something that people talk in, I'll say something, but I really mean to say something else, but it's kind of like a hidden code word. So I don't know, man. It's actually an interesting concept, but I don't know.
I mean, the one thing is, guys, the one thing I want to stress to you is that I do not shy away from competition, right? What I will be teaching you, or what we will be teaching you, is selling at a very, very competitive niche. Country is incredibly competitive, not just because of people selling T-shirts and necklaces, but I'll be competing with mega brands, right? And that's ultimately we all roll up ultimately to um, 25 or 18 plus male and female in the United States. So everybody in the entire United States rolls up to the same thing. We're all fighting for newsfeed space. So the way that you get your product in front of other people is by being unique, like we've been talking about, and being targeted. So if there's other competition in the niche, that is a good thing. We want that because that's proving that there's buyers there. So if you're ever wondering if is it a good niche or a bad niche, then just understand that if you have people buying stuff, then it's a good niche. Lynn says she's going to create the drama in the reality TV show. Awesome. Um, Sean, I'll ask, is this an upgrade to the physical product system? This is a coaching program that I wanted to put together for you. Something we'll be taking the physical product system and putting it in live in front of your face for the next 6 to 7 weeks, and then beyond that in a private coaching group. So everything that we basically create in front of you, you're going to be the only people that get to basically ask us questions on that in the coming weeks. Um, Brian, yeah, if you want to, I hope that answered some of your questions on niche selection. He's having some real difficulty here, but we're going to have the rationale behind the country niche. And what I want to take you guys and understand is that that is going to be something that's going to help you pick a niche. Wendy, it was not a stupid question. What kind of ad budget is required to follow up with you guys? Your guys? Are you acting like keeping up with us? Uh, you know, if we're doing 6 figures in, I don't know, let's try to put some math behind this, Nishant. If we're going to do
Okay.
6 figures in 6 weeks, I would expect on ad spend alone to be in the 25 to 30 grand level because you're going to have product cost as well. It really depends on what we're selling, but if I had to think of the lead item that I would go after, if we use the example that we did, um, you're going to have some product cost, some fulfillment cost, and everything else to hit that mark. So if we do it off of one item, 25 to 30, I would say. I mean, I'm just estimating here because I want to try to achieve ultimately, I want to try to achieve if the goal is 100% ROI, then I would have to all in all spend 50 to achieve 100, right? That's not, a lot of businesses don't play in that realm. A lot of people get their expectations too high. The
Yep.
retail industry in quarter 3, I believe, was like a 27% ROI level. So that's retail. So that's a very comparable industry for us. Now that incorporates some stores and some online. So I don't have really like the split out of the online, but a 27% ROI, guys, in a year is phenomenal, right? It's cool. I'll put it this way: it's cool to make 100% ROI today or this week, but can you do it for an entire year? That's where it gets really hard, and that's what we want to teach you is this is real business here, guys. I will gladly make 25. I don't. Is there somebody on the call that if their profit on 100 was 25 that they wouldn't do it? Because I don't think that that's
Yeah.
possible, right?
Well, let me answer that question real quick. So, and I'll counter that with another question. Would you rather make 100% or a 500? Would you rather make $100 every day on a 500% ROI, spending only $20, or would you rather make thousands of dollars every day, spending thousands? So ROI really does not matter. What matters is how much money you take home every day. ROI does not pay your kids school fees or like dance lessons.
Yeah,
It's the money that you take home, and we'll teach you exactly how to maximize that money that you're going to take home. So ROI does not matter. ROI is for the people who like fancy stats. It's the money that matters.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, people on Wall Street that make millions and millions and millions of dollars don't make 100% ROI. They don't make 50% ROI. I think they're below 20 for almost every. I think a good. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I think a pretty good investment return on investment on Wall Street is 10%.
See,
So
yeah, that's actually way too much because I used to work in corporate finance, and
there you go.
whenever we would do these, projected current value of your future cash flows and all that, all that stuff, if we would make more than 4.5%, and I'm talking 4.5% for the year, we would invest millions of dollars on those products. So there's your answer.
Yeah. No, you will not be accessing this through the PPS site. We will set up an entirely new system for you, and it will be just for you guys to go through. It helps us make sure that we differentiate. Uh, I have a half question here. Let's see if I can see Mike's other half. Oh, wait. Will I be able to reach you guys, other guys, for specific questions? Yeah, that's what the Facebook group is going to be for, is the day-to-day questions. And again, that's the day-to-day. That's what our commitment to you. Besides me, I'll be sipping. I'll answer questions in the next week if I can, but I got this vacation planned. Um, but then we're getting rocking and rolling. We got the 6 weeks with it. Guys, if you're still on the call, just hop over physicalproductsystem.com/$1 million store. Just take a look. Understand that we got something here pretty special for you. I want you to go over there and take some action and see how a seven figures brand is made, right? This is going to be live over your shoulder. That's what differentiates this from a lot of stuff out there, is that we will literally not be holding anything back. We'll be going 0 to 6 figures over the course of this program.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, man, I didn't really want to mention this, for confidentiality reasons, but I found this mentor on Clarity.fm. So I don't know how many of you guys actually know about Clarity.fm. It's a place where you can go and talk to people that are experts in different industries, and they've done, a bunch of different things. And so I think I paid like $60 per minute for a call. The call, I think it was like 6 or 7 minute long, and off of the call, I was able to get that guy's other personal information to mentor me on some of this stuff. Well, this guy now, I'm not only paying him $10,000 for him to consult me on how he grew some of his stuff. I'm also giving him 1.5% equity in the business that he's helping me. So that's how much value he's taken away from something like that, and he's not even doing it for 6 weeks or anything. So, again, people charge insane amount of money for them to show you the inner workings of their business, and that's what we're showing you here.
Lynn, looking forward to working with you as well. Have a good night. See you later. Again, we have a custom coded one, Robert, but we will point you in the direction. One of my stores makes a very good amount of money off of a free theme, and then it's really about tweaking it, right? Brooklyn is the theme, and it's really a great opportunity for you guys to take a free theme and then run with it. And then I actually recommend that you custom code it afterwards, and we'll teach you how to do that. I have a coder on my staff that I ask him to tweak. Each one of my stores is different from each other now, because literally, guys, the store is the outlet for people to reach you, like to really interact with you in my niche basis. So not all of my stores are the same anymore. So that's another key aspect I want you to take away from this. We don't have a payment plan right now. We'll take a consideration of that. Joshua brings up a great point. We actually have the $200 to still give away. So let me bring up and for these of you live on the call here, I will be guys, we're going to be emailing everybody out who's joined. We're going to be emailing you out the specific info, because there's no membership site really right now for you to even take it, because everything will come week by week. That's kind of the point of the coaching program. So we'll load it up with things over the next maybe even couple days. This replay will be here if you need that, and then even the core of the slides will be there if you need that. But what we're going to be basically doing is it is live. I thought you said you were in. So it's $9.97. If you go to physicalproductsystem.com/$1 million store, you can see that. lsb77@msn.com. The first session is Thursday next week. So let me go ahead. Got my random selector. Is Andy Bauer still on the call? Give me a yes. Can you guys not see my screen? Nishant?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
So it's in the chat box as well. I'll put it in there again for you. Andy, if you're still on the call, give me a yes, sir, because I'm gonna PayPal you $200 tonight. There's the link for you as well. Andy, there you go, man. Andy Bauer. Friend me on Facebook, or I can just respond to your emails. Tell me real quick, is your email that you emailed me on, is that your PayPal? Oh, okay. Well, email me your PayPal again, and then I'll PayPal you. Cool. All right, guys, I'm gonna go back here. Carol asks, what would it take to money-wise to net about $10,000 per month? Is that fairly easy? If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? So but we have it down to a literal, uh, where we know how to do this game now. So we're going to be laying out every step along the way, everything that you need in order to get this done for you as quickly as possible. The big difference here, guys, there's great courses out there. There's other courses that I've recommended to you. There's courses that I will recommend to you in the future. Information is a good thing in this industry, right? I love information. I love seeing like I told you, I buy my way to the front of the line. I want to see other takes on it. When you step outside of your own world and you actually see how other people are doing it, that's when the magic can happen. I mean, it's like when you go, the IM industry is hilarious in the sense that everybody says you can just do it yourself. Do you go to a job, if you got hired, or the job that you got hired, regardless if you're flipping burgers, which I've done before, or you're at a corporate level, does somebody just say, here's your desk, go figure it out? Give me a yes in the chat box if that's what people say, or give me a no if that's not what people say. Exactly. Nobody does that, right? Nobody just says, hey, good luck, flip my burgers, serve food to people. So that is really the key difference here. There we go. So no one, I'm not talking about basically, you're going to be guided one way or another, right? So that's basically what's going on. Yeah, Jesse, this will be open for a handful of days. I think we're going to close it down Saturday night. Okay? And you will get all the bonuses. This is different, guys, than the physical product upgrade because the reason is it's going to be, you get to see inside my business. That's the big difference, right? So the difference is we're going to be showing you live over the shoulder, and then we're going to be looking into your business as well. And that's really the key difference here between us and anything else out there. Our ads, our targeting, our products, our expansion, our program, how we staff, everything. You get to see the inner workings as if you were in the boardroom with us. Now, Sean, are you still on the call, man?
Yep.
Okay,
I'm
it just
here.
gets really quiet when you have it on mute, so I don't know if I'm dropped out or what.
Yeah, I don't want to create the echo, so that's why I mute myself.
The physical product, guys, is what we are going to be. Okay, let me make sure that it's 100% clear for you, Jesse. I am going to be implementing the physical product in front of your eyes at a very fast pace, Nishant and I, at a very fast pace, and we're going to move it forward to 6 figures, right? It's a little different when I have it recorded and I have it placed in front of you, and I try to show you every angle that I can, and it's different than if I do it live over my shoulder, and I actually set a goal of 6 figures in a month. So you're going to see the real application of a business done. The entire strategy is what we do is you're going to see. Does that make sense to you, Jesse? No, it's not a daily webinar. It's a once a week webinar with a daily Facebook group And then you'll also get Nishant and I's interaction with each other recorded over that course as well. Yep, Norman, it's in the country niche, and you're gonna get to see it. We're putting a lot of faith, guys. You know how hard it is to really we're going to be everybody that comes into this group is going to see the products and the things like that. That's how confident we are. I mean, you really could come in and try to duplicate what we're doing, but we're confident enough to show you everything, and then also, take it to the six figures. I mean, you're going to see even the T-shirts that we put up, guys. Jesse, yes. Answer your question. We will show you how. We'll show you. I mean, we're not going to show you like then click this, then say this. We'll show you exactly our hiring process to onboard people. Does that make sense? Fafa asks, can we put these products on Amazon as well? What is the disadvantage if not? The right product could always be, that's an additional revenue stream. That's an eventual thing that I would like to do with high selling, that only makes sense for certain products, right? Because Facebook's actually pretty aggressive with what they charge you to host on their platform, right? A lot of people don't tell you that, but not every product can be transitioned over, and not every product is fitting for that platform as well. Like I know a couple people that tried to move their T-shirts over, and they're not really doing as well because it's a different mindset of the customer, right? People come to Amazon to buy stuff. People don't come to Facebook to buy stuff. So you have to handle the product differently. And not every product can become a lead product on all sites. Each session will allow for a live Q&A. QQ, I have a general store that makes $10,000 revenue a month. Is this good for general stores as well? The thing about general stores is that if you really wanted to, you could do kind of a micro version of this. We prefer the category store because I just want everything involved with that. I don't know how far out you're saying you're doing 10 grand in revenue per month. I don't know how where you are in as far as how many niches you're in, but is it possible for you to find a next layer on top of that general store and make it a category store? A category store is a general store, but it's centered. It's a laser beamed general store, right? It's going after a big broad category that has millions of people.
Yeah, you can definitely create a subdomain also, if that's one of your questions, because I actually have seen some of these bigger stores, they have subcategories, so you can do that. But again, uh, if you go from a brand perspective, it helps you a lot more in being able to charge premium prices.
Yeah. Um, yes, Jesse, I think I answered that for you. Do participants continue to have access to the FB software after this 6 weeks? Yeah. That's why I said that software in itself pays for the entire program, right? Because you're a business owner that is hoping to sell products for years. I hope so. And Facebook is literally, I mean, Quaya is literally $150 per month, if not more, depending on your program, right? So eventually, just taking that cost away from you pays for this in spades, right? Because I've probably myself spent over $1,000 on Quaya because I've been running it for a while, or it's getting close to that. Each session will allow for a live Q&A. Yep. So guys, physicalproductsystem.com/$1,000,000 store. This has been a long one here. We still got a couple, we got a lot of people on the call. We got a couple hundred people on the call still. So what other questions do you guys have? Or are you ready to take action? I want to see who's on the call still that is in. Type I'm in the chat box real quick now, because I want to see the guys that have taken some action, and I want to call them out. Alan is in, Gary is in, Yogi is in, Chuck is in, Debbie is in. Awesome. Charles is in. Does PayPal does this accept PayPal credit? Yeah, it's JVZoo, so whatever JVZoo is allowing. Jeremy, we will work on that for you. Awesome, guys. Patrick asks, is fitness too broad of a category? This is an interesting point, right? You saw my store, right? The reason that I didn't understand that store, the reason I failed with that store is because I didn't realize that fitness is I mean, it's simple when you think about it, but I didn't treat it as a category. I treated it as a niche. And that simple mindset change, I'm doing very well inside of the course now, the fitness niche now. So that is pretty much it. So how much of an ad budget do you need to go from 0 to 6 figures in 6 weeks, guys? Again, we talked about that, Norman. There's so many variables that are inside of that, right? What are you selling? What is the price of what you're selling? I mean, you could sell. Think about it. You could sell one item that's 6 figures. You can sell $100,000 item, and then you only have to sell one product. Or you could sell $100,000 items. So there's so many factors that come into play, but we told you what our expectations are, and so you can try to follow along with it. What's important for you to realize, Norma, is we're going to be teaching you how to build a business and to achieve that 6 figures per week, because we're going to do it live in front of your face. So don't focus on how much ad budget you need, because we'll eventually get to the place where you can afford, regardless of what it is. If you constantly work at this, eventually you will be able to afford to do it. Carl, it's going to close down on Saturday. Carol, sorry. Jeremy, what's going on? Yeah, we're working on it. We'll discuss it after this, and then we'll let you guys know. Sorry if you answered this already. When does it start? It starts the first session that we're going to open up the Facebook group. After we close down, here's what's going to happen, guys. After we close down, we're going to take all the emails out, email everybody that's in the group out in a special, I'm going to add you all to a special list. We're going to email everybody out, and then we're going to give you a link to the Facebook group, a private Facebook group. As soon as everybody is in, then we're going to shut that group down so nobody else can join, and we basically go from there, guys. That's what we're going to do. So it's going to be step by step. All of the replays and everything like that will be hosted on a private site, but at the same time, we're going to basically have all of the links available in the Facebook group for you just to go there and access. So, Jay, this is an overall question about of how do we compete with people if we only charge shipping, right? So, Jay, there's a lot of things out there where, again, you'll see something that sells for $4 on eBay. How do I compete with that? Or if it sells for $1 on eBay, how can I compete with that? And you're never going to be the person that thinks that a dollar product is ever going to. You can't charge like $19 for a dollar product, right? So what you need to do is understand that lots of items are priced differently in different places, and people pay for something called convenience, right? So the beauty of Facebook is you're putting something directly in front of somebody who wasn't otherwise looking for it. So they will pay you money, a higher price, without having to go to eBay or anything like that, because they're buying it out of an impulse state. And that's businesses have thrived on this for years, for generations. Not something Nishant and I created, right? But it's something that's available for somebody to buy now. You have to understand that pricing is a huge part of running a business, right? And something that I talk about in PPS. We'll talk about it more because we'll have more time to talk about it. But pricing your product correctly to add in your margin, to add in your costs, to add in everything and your ad costs. That's how you sell appropriately, right? And be fair to your customer. So guys, it has been a 2.5-hour webinar. We have 100% of this recorded. We're going to be sending out a replay. But I want you to guys, if you're still on this call, I know there is that feeling in the back of your head, you need to check this out, right? So go to physicalproductsystem.com/$1 million store. Join us in this journey. Take some action. And I would love to see you on this call. Oh, well, I can't see you. Nishant would love to see you on the call next week. This is the otherwise end of the calls for the PPS system. But we want to continue this. We want to take it to the next level with you guys. So we'll see you in the Facebook group that will be created early next week that we'll mail out. And then the calls will be weekly for the next 7 weeks. That's what you're getting out of this. Is a 7-week program of everything from foundational to developing a brand. And that's over the course of the next 7 weeks. So don't forget about the bonuses too. We'll get you out as soon as you purchase. Again, we're going to close it down, then we're going to mail out. So with that Facebook group, we'll hope to get you as many, or at least the instructions on how, because we can't deliver product pictures to you. We'll give you the instructions on how to get everything ready for you. Okay? So thank you guys so much. Nishant, thanks for your time, man. I know it's been 2.5 hours. I know you got a big trip planned. Yeah, so really appreciate your guys' time on here. Hope you had fun. If you had a great time, Sammy, awesome, man. Sammy says, thanks, Matt. Fantastic opportunity. Can't wait to get started. Sweet. If you had a great time, give me a yes in the chat box here today. Lots of people saying yes. Thank you. Hell yes. Thank you. No problem, man. All right, guys. I will hope to see lots of you soon. I will also see you in the Facebook. In the Facebook group for the advanced group. But I hope to see you in this, this $1 million store coaching program, because I think this is going to be super valuable and a great opportunity for you. So, talk to you soon, guys. Take care.